Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of equations for lines, specifically how we can write equations for perpendicular lines, and we'll do it in 5 minutes or less. So perpendicular lines are lines that are going to form right angles, but their slopes are unique. So perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. And this is something that we're going to need to remember because it's not going to be on our reference materials or on any part of the definition will be on the STAR test. So what does it mean to have opposite reciprocal slopes? So let's say we have two lines. So slope A is 3. Pretty simple slope. So if slope B is perpendicular, then it's going to be the opposite. So since A is positive 3, we need to have the opposite sign, so negative. And then what is the reciprocal of 3? Well, 3 is really just 3 over 1, so the reciprocal is going to be 1/3. You flip it. So if slope A is 3, slope B is negative 1/3. Right? So let's look at another example here. So if we have slope C is going to be negative 1/8, well then you probably have guessed it. Slope D, what is first the opposite sign? That's a negative, so this is a positive, so we'll just leave it blank. And the reciprocal of 1/8, you flip it, right, is just 8 over 1. So 8 over 1 is just 8. So these are perpendicular slopes. These are perpendicular slopes. Let's see how we can find that with a problem. So a sample problem might ask us to find the equation in slope-intercept form. They're going to give us a point. So here's the point that the line passes through, and it needs to be perpendicular to this line right here. All right? So first we need to find the slope. So the slope of, let's call this right here, A, is going to be 1/4. Right? So 1 over 4. So slope B, let's call that our new line right here, is going to be the opposite reciprocal. So since that's a positive 1/4, this is a negative. And since that's 1 over 4, our reciprocal would be 4 over 1. We just flip it. 4 over 1 is really just 4. So we know the slope is going to be negative 4. So let's see what our slope-intercept form is going to look like. Because we know what the slope is, we don't know what the y-intercept is. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's not. So we're just going to plug in our numbers. Our y right here is 3, so 3 equals our m, remember our slope is right there, negative 4. Our x is right there, that negative 1, plus b. All right, so now we just need to isolate the b. So 3 equals negative 4 times negative 1 is just 4, plus b, subtract 4 from both sides, and you are going to get a negative 1. b equals negative 1. All right, so now we can put this back into this slope-intercept form, and so we can say the new equation, so line B, it's the one we're looking for, y equals, remember our slope is negative 4, x, and then we've got a minus 1. So let's see what that looks like on an actual graph. So this green line is our original line, right? This is the y equals 1/4 x plus 7. You notice there's the 7 right there, the y-intercept, and it's got a very slow upward positive slope. So our new line right here is this blue line, y equals negative 4x minus 1. So you see the y-intercept right there, negative 1. And you see the point that it passed through is negative 1/3 right there. And you also see that we are perpendicular. So they are not necessarily straight up and down. They rotate a little bit, but those are right angles. So when we are looking for the slope of perpendicular lines, remember we need to find the slopes that are opposite reciprocal.